Hello, everybody. Welcome to podcast episode number 2 of the Gym Bro Fitness Podcast, where we talk about all things fitness related, whether it be gym equipment, gym build out, fitness equipment, or fitness marketing, supplements from powerlifting to bodybuilding, the Olympia, what's going on in the industry. You name it, we're here to talk about it. And I'm so excited to be kicking off episode number 2, guys. Are you kidding me? Episode number 2 of our podcast. It's amazing. With none other than Pete, the Punisher Ciccone. He's a bodybuilding legend. He's famous throughout the internationally for his bodybuilding endeavors personally and through his team. 619 Muscle has paved and carved a name through gym, all things fitness related. Honestly, there's nobody that embodies the spirit of the bodybuilder than such as yourself, and to be in the presence of your likeness is an amazing thing, and it's an honor, and it's truly from the bottom of my heart amazing to have you on. So thank you.
Well, definitely appreciate the very warm welcome. Thank you guys for tuning in. And, James, it also goes without saying that, for the past year that we've been partners in business, I really have grown to appreciate your hard work, your dedication. And we have in our gym, we opened up a gym, my partner, Devin, and I, in El Cajon, just east of San Diego proper, called the Human Elite. And when we first opened the gym, we were like, okay, we have a certain budget. We have to find equipment. We have to find enough equipment to make the gym viable, to make it, everybody who's in the fitness world, I think at some point thinks to themselves, if I could have a gym, what would I do? And what would I put in it? What type of equipment? What's the vibe going to be? And when we went down to James' warehouse in southern part of San Diego, we looked around, and it was really funny because I was first introduced to Mayhem Strength Equipment during COVID. And I had gone to Dave Depew's gym, Grinder Gym, and he had a couple of back pieces that were really unique, and they were actually prototypes, and they had this really cool logo on them that said Mayhem Strength. And the thing about it was, for the seated row, it just fit so nice and so right. And I said, boy, this is a great piece of equipment. I had never heard of Mayhem Strength. And I asked Dave about it, and he said, oh, yeah, it's a prototype. It was made by a guy named James here in San Diego. And I said, oh, wow. And I thought to myself, you know what? Someday I might like to see more Mayhem Strength equipment. And this was 2019-20, when the shutdown first happened, and Grinder was an outdoor gym, so we were able to get in there. And then I saw another piece of equipment. It was a DY row, or version of the Dorian Yates reverse grip row, but it was the original version that Mayhem Strength actually offered. And it just fit so nice. It's kind of like Hammer Strength equipment, but with a little bit more comfortable nuance. And maybe I'm not a super tall guy, so maybe for me it just fit right. But those two pieces of back equipment for that summer became, a staple for my own training. And then a couple of years later, when Devin and I had the opportunity to look for equipment to offer to put into our own gym, we said, yeah, man, we ought to go and find out what this Mayhem Strength equipment is. And the company Gym Bros down in south part of San Diego, we gave James a call. And I had since been introduced to a horizontal leg press, which is an amazing posterior chain focused leg press, which at first, for me, being a quad guy, I thought to myself, this is a very cool machine. It's designed where you're actually laying back a little rather than sitting vertically compared to the plate that you push, or even leaned a little bit forward. So you're using, it's not quite a hip press. It's actually posterior chain focused. And I thought to myself, it kind of mimics almost like a squat type movement as a press. I said, this can't be right because it's not quad focused. The hell is this silly leg press that's not focusing on quads? No matter where I put my feet, I was getting a lot of burn in the glutes and hamstrings. And then I actually gave James a call, and I said, I don't know about this leg press. Do you have any other leg presses? He says, oh, sure. We have a, standard leg press, but that one was designed specifically for glutes and hamstrings, more for the powerlifting component, the strength component, or as is we have in the Human Elite and is now in vogue, is a lot of posterior chain training for female focused athletes, wellness and bikini specifically. And as a coach of wellness and bikini athletes, I said, boy, that's a pretty clever machine, where you change the angle on the seat so you're actually focusing more on glutes and hamstrings and a little bit on adduction as well. It's a smooth movement, and you can go real heavy on it because the way that the weight comes down, you're not going to get squashed. It's an amazing piece of equipment. So we looked into that. We looked into the back machines that I had tried, and I said, I kind of like this entire line. And so we had talked, and James was in the process of building his business and was looking for kind of a showcase gym as well. So we negotiated a really cool price to be able to equip our entire gym with Mayhem Strength, or the equipment that James provided from Gym Bros. And you know what? It worked out really well because the price was good. The quality of the equipment and the engineering of the equipment are amazing, in that every piece of equipment is really specifically designed and targeted to specifically hit those muscles that you're trying to activate in that exercise. They're really unique angles. They're not like off of the charts weird or funky. They're just real specific for what you're trying to hit. For example, that posterior chain leg press is all glutes and hamstrings. There's a back machine, a dual grip pull down machine that actually one of the handles in the lower handle functions as a pullover. So it really nails lower lats too. It's a pretty badass combination. And all of the machines are really nice when you're working with them. They're all engineered very, very precisely so that they're all biomechanically friendly. It's a great line for an affordable price too. We were able to get an entire gym fortified. And Gym Bros, you guys took really good care of us, because I think we were the first gym that we could actually be in the same neighborhood where we could kind of like be a showcase for you guys, which we work really well together with customers that come down and visit Gym Bros. He also helped us out with some good pricing on mirrors and flooring, which we're real happy with the support that we get now after the purchase and the setup. James and his crew is very, very happy to keep us with all of our stuff that breaks down operational. So it's been a good experience so far for the past 14 months. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And, it's funny you mentioned Dave Depew in the very beginning, because he is probably one of my very first customers in the game of gym equipment. But the reason why I say it's funny is because he's going to be on the podcast next week. Next week, 2 weeks from now.
Yeah,
he's going to be on episode number 3. So,
yep.
For those of you guys listening, hope you guys are ready for that one too, because it's going to be an absolute banger, just like they all are. But, something I'll say about the Human Elite and our team and stuff like that is that we really wanted to make sure that when people came into the Human Elite, that your customers felt like you guys really paid a lot of attention to the planning, the development, the equipment selection, the equipment layout, the quality of the flooring, to the way that the free weight section looks. It all matches. The color scheme is on point. How much would you say that alone plays an effect into like when somebody makes a decision of purchasing a membership or not when they come to your gym?
Well, it's really funny because for me, I'm old school. If it's heavy, I'll lift it, I'll build muscle. I don't really care about the aesthetics as much. My partner is a little bit younger. He's still old school mentality, but he likes everything to be very precise. And I'll tell you what, I'm really glad that we went with you guys for the majority of the equipment we have, the color scheme, the flooring. Everything was bought as a package. And even some of the pieces of equipment you've actually powder coated for us that were our equipment or older equipment that did not match our aesthetic originally. And, for me, give me heavy, I'm good. But to be honest, everyone that comes through the door, there's not a single person that doesn't come into the front door, and I'm serious, and look around and be like, wow, this place is badass. All the way down from the music to the mirrors to the flooring to the setup of the gym stuff to the colors. They're all strong and vibrant colors in black and red. We actually paid an electrician extra to set up the lighting so that now the social media world, as you guys know, is all about filming selfies and all kinds of Instagramming and YouTubing. So we were very aware of that, and we built the lighting and the coloring of the gym so that you get very, very good quality. We call it anabolic lighting. And I would like to say that we were the first to copyright that and engineer that and develop that. Anabolic lighting from the Human Elite. Come in and check it out, you guys. First time's free, by the way. But yeah, the lighting is pretty badass, whether you're doing your own camera or you're doing a shoot, a video shoot. And we welcome those as well. And it's true, though. The vibe is something that's very important for a gym, even if the vibe is old school, beat up, But in our case, we're a new gym, new to the community. There wasn't a lot of other hardcore gyms out in East County and San Diego. So we had an opportunity to really put a foot down. And, when you talk about the name, the Human Elite, I had come up with that several years ago when I was working on a supplement company, actually, because the Human Elite talks about, or it really imparts the vibe of all of us as humans trying to be the best that we can be for ourselves. And that's really the vibe behind the gym. We have all kinds of athletes, all levels of athletes, from IFBB pros, Olympia level athletes training there for sure. There's several of them, all the way down to the newest of the new newbies, young guys just starting out, young ladies just starting out, all the way up to moms and soccer moms and grandmoms. And it's a real family oriented place that's also got a real super serious hardcore vibe, but it's very friendly. It's very homey, which is kind of unique to that type of vibe. But when you talk about feeling like you're elite, it's not an arrogant kind of position looking down on the rest of the world, but it's looking within. And we culture this in our training with our coaches and our trainers, all the way down to the customer service and working with you guys, especially. Everyone is chasing their dream, chasing their own version of elite. And this is what we build at the Human Elite. We welcome you in. We have a ton of experience, years and years and years of training between everybody, all the way down to the gym equipment manufacturing. So it's really an exciting place. I've been in the bodybuilding world for 34 years, and being able to finally have a place to express my love for the sport and share that with even the younger generation, and all the guys and the ladies in there are just so motivated and exciting. James and I share workouts quite a bit, and we just have a blast tearing it up in the evenings after work when we put all the paperwork to bed for a few minutes and get a chance to breathe and share that. And it's a pretty neat place. And we have to say we owe the majority of that to the quality of the equipment, Mayhem Strength and Gym Bros, and the support that we get. I think that's the biggest thing. I've had, since we opened, multiple calls from other gym owners that are inquiring about equipment. What type of things do you guys have? How do you like the Gym Bros Mayhem Strength equipment? And I say, come on down, come on in and check it out. We all really are essentially a showcase for James and Gym Bros equipment for Mayhem Strength. And I tell you what, the number one thing that I will always say about Gym Bros, at least to date anyway, is the customer service. Now, James invited me here on this podcast, not to kiss his butt, but the truth is, if something breaks, I'll give you an example. I had a guy smash a pulley on my CD cable row 2 nights ago. Let go of the piece of equipment, it broke the pulley. The pulley, now the machine is dysfunctional. I texted James immediately. He said, send me a picture. I took a picture with my phone. This was 9:30 at night. He's probably half asleep, getting ready for bed. He said, I think I have one in the warehouse. I'll bring it by tomorrow. Luckily, I had one on a machine we could take off in the morning. But that type of customer service equipment from a manufacturer is something you don't find. I don't get that type of service from my cell phone. I don't get that type of service from my car dealer. I don't get that type of service from just about anything you can deal with in modern day, not even my accountant or my bank account. It's pretty amazing when you can pick up the phone and text a company and within an hour or two max. Now, I'm not going to put you on the spot to hold you to that because I know you're getting busy, but the truth is, that's really what sold me on the company. They helped us with installation. They help us with the flooring decisions, help us manage our budget best for our goals. And we got some really, really good equipment out of it. We got lucky, but the best part of it now is the support that we get as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Without the success of our gym owners and our gym owners teams, like, we won't be successful, right? Like, a lot of companies fail to realize that they're sitting on a lot of, business in the people that they've already done business with. Like, those people that you do business with, they're more than likely wanting to stay with you in business as long as you treat them like you care about them. And it's really just that simple, right? You have to feel that care. Otherwise, you're not going to want to work with that company or that person, right? So I kind of emphasize that in all of our team meetings is like, look, we always put the customer first. What do they want? How are they going to perceive what it is that we're sending out there to them? And we always just try to make sure that by giving you guys the best chance of success, we have to be able to be there to like support everybody. So it's not always easy. It's not always the most financially smart decision, but it's what we do because we believe, and that's how in doing business fairly like that. And in return, we hope that people feel the front end of that success, and then return that to us whenever they need equipment or they need something else done. And so we take it as a we kind of have a chip on our shoulder a little bit when it comes to that. Like, hey, we're going to be a better customer service provider than, our competitors. And we're not gonna be shy about it. We're going to let everybody know. And the way that we do that is we're building really efficient customer service processes and systems, right? Like, it's all about how streamlined can you get, and how well can you execute, how fast can you execute. And as a business owner, you have to come up with a plan on how you implement those processes using, KPIs, and which is, key performance indicators. And you take those KPIs and you continuously strive to meet them and exceed them, and then grow them as you grow as a company. And so I appreciate the feedback. And again, and please keep us to that standard. That's the company standard we want for all of our customers. And if we're falling short of that, then we're not doing our jobs right. So,
well, and I think it's really exciting because it's about building a gym, but it's about being supportive to your client base. My client base are the people that come in the door. They pay the monthly fee, they sign up, and they want to improve their body. So we provide them with knowledge, education. We have some of the best trainers in the San Diego area, and we brought the trainers out because our rent for the trainers is essentially the best rent that you can get other than free here in San Diego, so that we have good equipment, we have solid equipment, that 95% of it is always functional. I will say that 5% has to do with not being able to get pieces that we need in time to, fix something the next day. But in truth, we've got more uptime, functional time of the gym equipment that we have in our gym than any place I've ever been to. And that's in large part because James and his crew at Gym Bros is a phone call away, literally, or a text message away. And within a couple of days, we've got the pieces we need, and the equipment's back up and running, except the stair mills, but that's because we're outsourcing those, I know.
Yeah.
And those are coming together.
Cardio is tough, man.
Oh my God. Yeah, because we beat the crap out of it. But, we're very thankful, and, to be able to work with James. And it's really funny because since I'm an old guy and I've been in the business for a long time, bodybuilding in general, a lot of guys I know that are now at my stage of their career starting to look at building either home gyms or small gyms of their own or bigger gyms. I can't tell you, I get calls every week. Hey, what do you guys use for equipment? And what do you think? And do you have recommendations? And I always recommend them to James. And with my word and my name on the line, I tell them without question, their customer service is the best. And that's why we were lucky enough to find them and go with them, But that being said, we got really lucky because like what I found in the equipment in Dave Depew's gym, the Grinder gym, 2.5 years ago, the equipment's amazing. And really, so we got lucky. We got great service and great equipment. And then our customers, get the same thing, hopefully from us as well.
Yeah, I was just on that DY road that you were talking about.
Yes.
Last weekend for Veterans Day.
Yep.
I was hitting it, and you're right, man. I'm feeling it in my lats, and it's a great feeling, man. It's a good machine. It's a good angle, and that's the beauty. That's the beautiful thing about, working with us is it's like, that when you spend your hard-earned dollars with Mayhem Strength or Gym Bros Fitness, it's just going back into making more cool stuff that we all can just go like, oh, that's like,
well,
really
and that's a fun part of it too, because as a gym owner now and as a gym rat for the past 30 years, there's always those pieces of equipment that you like and you say to yourself, boy, this is a really cool piece of equipment if it only had this, or if it only did that, or if it was a little bit deeper in the range of motion, or if there was a foot peg that I could push the weight up and get into it a lot easier. And, working with this guy, it's kind of fun because when we're in the gym training, I say, you know what, James, the next time you make this machine, we should do it a little different like this or like that. Now, I'm a trainer, I'm a coach, I'm an athlete, and now a gym owner. I'm not an engineer, and I'm not a gym equipment designer. But I think every person who's ever used a piece of equipment would always say, if this only did this a little bit different, it would be a little bit better. And when you have a friend or a business partner that's a gym equipment manufacturer, an engineer that can actually potentially make that equipment, it's kind of fun when you can actually start to fantasize a little bit. Like, that's a cool piece of equipment. What if we could do this? And, we're talking about the converging chest press, for example, which is a badass piece of equipment from Mayhem. You're sitting up straight and it just comes in just at the right angle to get that maximum tension through your pecs, no matter whether it's the bench press flat bench grip or that parallel grip on the inside. But you know what? If you could put a peg on it so you could step and you could lift the bar up so you can get under it a little bit easier for guys that are a little thicker, much better. So that second or third iteration, that'll be coming out sooner or later.
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, so then when we start looking at needing to replace pieces, we'll call James.
Yeah.
It'll be good. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's really cool I mean, like, it's literally my dream job, right? Like, it's like I just dedicated a lot of time and energy into learning the trade, learning the craft, learning manufacturing, but not just with the aspirations of like learning the craft. I want to change the way that it's done, bring it back to the United States, and really be able to R&D hardcore, like on the spot type of deal. Like my dream is to like have a mastermind of like 10 just really like wicked bodybuilding like gurus in the same room, and we'll just like test equipment and like come up with ideas, and
so fun.
It'll be amazing. It'll be a cool trip. Like, it'll be like a trip somewhere, probably secluded, and we'll make the best freaking designs that the world's ever seen, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be American made, so it'll be pretty cool.
I love it, and I don't have any doubt. Can't wait to see.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see it as it evolves.
We'll get there. It's still young. We're not even on our 4th year yet. We're
Isn't that crazy.
I just got out of the military like a year and a half ago, which was really holding me back then. It was actually going through trade school when you guys built your gym, and I had to like take days off of trade school to go do the gym install.
I remember
because we had Danny Hester come down, and Fetty came and did the little shoot there.
Fetty Mo.
Those guys were super willing, and they were also pretty impressed with the equipment, which was awesome. And yeah, it was just a really, really fun experience. So I want to give a little bit of value to the guys that are listening to this and are thinking about maybe opening a gym up themselves, right? Like every personal trainer, every bodybuilder, they kind of have aspirations to opening up their own facility one day, right? You always kind of have that seed in the back of your mind, because I feel like as people that are, into bodybuilding or fitness, we kind of think like we can do things better than like the way that they are already,
Sure,
like just in our minds, and it's kind of the way that we operate. And so, they think, all right, I can build my gym a little bit better by being in this location, or being like, this color scheme with this equipment, whatever it might be. What would you tell those guys that are thinking about it, pulling the trigger, or maybe they haven't even really thought about it? What would you tell them, like, what tips would you give them when they're first planning and starting out the gym building process?
Well, I think the first thing to do is, shop around, but really establish a budget and look through all of the different things you need, whether it be talking to the city in terms of permitting, in terms of, we had some issues in the beginning with the fire marshal and the structure of the gym. We did some internal construction and remodeling and things like that, or find a location that fits your size and in the area that fits your demographic. I know people will travel a great distance to go to a really good gym, but you also want to be accessible. And I think that's important. We got lucky because in East County, for us, there's no other gym in the neighborhood that is quite the same size, the same depth of equipment, the same quality of equipment, and the same vibe, the same energy. So I think that's really important. I think you want to conceptualize your brand. As with any business, the brand identity, what are you trying to achieve? What type of customer are you trying to attract? That's probably one of the most important parts of starting a small business, a new business, is considering, who's going to be your customer? What need are you going to fill? And for us in East County, there were no bodybuilding, hardcore fitness gyms that were also with a family vibe, especially. And I think that was important because East County, San Diego is middle class, upper middle class family environment. Currently, it's a suburban offshoot of San Diego. So there's a lot of families, high school through college, in that higher level blue collar type environment. And these guys like to work out. That younger generation, the 20-something and up generation, and their parents, who are, sometimes at my age, want to train. They want to work out, and they have that capability, but there's no gym. So we got really lucky. We found a great location in an up-and-coming, evolving neighborhood in East County, El Cajon, Spring Valley area, Lakeside area. And we filled a need. And then we thought about what our vibe was going to be. Now, I come from a hardcore bodybuilding community, but one of the things that I always felt, as far as that goes, when you're thinking about opening a gym, for me, is when I was a young guy, as much as I love the bodybuilding aspect, I was always intimidated by the big musclehead guys that were loud. And but at the same time, as I started evolving in my own bodybuilding, one of the things I really disliked was some of the corporate gyms that actually frowned on the bodybuilding culture and the bodybuilding environment, because bodybuilding is the foundation of all of the fitness industry. So to ostracize bodybuilding and bodybuilders and that lifestyle rather than embrace it is a mistake, in my opinion. You don't cut off your foundation and try to do something different. Lunk alarms and no grunting policies and pizza parties on Fridays. Those are things we definitely do not do at the Human Elite, because they're not productive. They're not a part of the bodybuilding community. You can go to Pizza Hut for pizza, or if you want a place where you're not grunting, go to the mall, or maybe go to the hospital or the church. No disrespect to church. I go sometimes when I can too. But I mean, the truth is, what's your market, what's your vibe, and what's your identity going to be as a brand? And those are the things that then you work towards. You work towards equipping your gym and building around that concept. The Human Elite, we knew right away, was going to be a hardcore bodybuilding community of all levels, from the elite level. Like I said, we have 3 or 4 Olympia level competitors in our gym currently, and many IFBB pros and guys that are up and coming national level competitors, all the way down to Norma Jean, I think is her name, or no, Betty Sue. And she's 84 years old and comes rolling in her walker on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We put her on a bench with her 3-pound dumbbells, and she lifts. And Betty Sue, I ask her how she's doing, and I say, when are you going to move up to the 5-pound dumbbells, Betty Sue? And she says, no, Peter, I'm good with the 3-pound dumbbells. But, we talk about progressive overload, and she's getting there. But this woman is amazing. She's overcome a stroke, and she's doing great. And her granddaughter brings her in, and her granddaughter does the group training. And so, we're talking about getting started, building a gym. Definitely conceptualize, what's your message, and what's your vibe, what's your brand identity, and then shop around within your budget for as much as you can in regards to building that brand, and stay true to your brand. The more you deviate from your brand and lose your identity, the more you're going to have confusion in the face of the customers that you're trying to service.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing with your supplement store and your supplement business in general. Like, where is that headed, and like what type of things are you working on in that regard?
Well, we're super excited. 619 Muscle is my brand. We're a supplement shop and a training service that was started actually in 2006 out of the original World Gym San Diego, that's now TG, in Pacific Beach. And we've got a shop that's been there for 18 years now. We're a supplement shop, and in the back I have my assessment office where people come in, and I do personal training, coaching for bodybuilding competition and all levels of transformation. When I had the opportunity to partner with Devin and open the gym in East County, I said to myself, you know what, we have a little bit of resources and an opportunity with my partner, Alan, to open up a second 619 Muscle shop. So we're 619 Muscle East. And now, as I've transplanted more into focusing on that gym myself in the East County of San Diego, right adjacent to it is 619 Muscle East. And as 619 Muscle East is a supplement shop, we have apparel, a small run of clothing we're popping out every few months on a limited basis. We're looking at continuing to grow and stabilize financially. Ideally, probably within the next 6 months to a year, we're going to have more in the way of education and knowledge. We're looking at starting a podcast ourselves, and also my YouTube channel, 619 Muscle TV, is out there with, we have 10,000 subscribers now, and we have over 60 or 70 videos that document a lot of the different athletes that I've coached over the years. So definitely check that out if you're looking for more information in regards to really how we do what we do at the Human Elite now in 619 Muscle in terms of shaping the body. We've got a lot of advice and knowledge-based videos that talk about specific training techniques and styles, and the supplements that we use, that we retail at 619 Muscle. Our website is in the process of being rebuilt, but that's going to include a lot of free knowledge and content as well. 619muscle.com. We'll probably have that up around the first of the year. We're working hard on that, but as you know, with technology, it's always a pain in the ass to keep it going.
Love it. That's awesome, man. That's pretty incredible what you're able to do between owning a gym, owning a supplement company, doing clothing, online personal training, which includes nutrition, and also managing multiple locations. So kudos to you. That's not an easy job. And I should throw this out too, while also still training yourself and keeping yourself, in check, eating healthy and stuff like that. I think people don't really realize that, like, how much mental stress you get from running all of this business stuff that you get on your own, like personal mental health, and still be able to forge your way to find a way to find the will to, train every single day, eat healthy, and stay on top of your stuff.
Yeah, thanks. And it's fun. It's actually, I've recommitted myself to my training after the past year where, managing the businesses has been very much a time challenge. I'm finally at a place now where I can step back and stabilize again. I've always trained and I've never let go of training, and I've always eaten well. So I'm a couple pounds lighter than I want to be, but I'm recommitted to getting back on stage again, God willing, next year, and we'll see what happens.
Wow.
I'm feeling good. Yeah, I'm feeling healthy. Doctor gives me the green light. And so everything's going good in that regard. As I'm able to now manage time a little bit better, that we have a little bit more momentum through the businesses. I mean, I've always loved bodybuilding. That was always why I've made the choices in my life that I made to structure and prioritize my own personal bodybuilding journey, including the businesses that I've done and the partners and people that I have in my life, is always to prioritize my own bodybuilding. I think you have to do that with anything that you're very passionate about, in order to give everything that you have to that. That being said, it's still a challenge in terms of time management for anything that takes as much detail as building a business or building your body. But that's the most rewarding thing, is being able to really go to sleep at the end of the day knowing that you checked all the boxes in terms of, living the best life you can. So I'm thankful. I'm grateful for my health and for the people in my life that are there and have been there.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like if you have the privilege to even be able to have a business and even attempt to run the business and grow it, and also be healthy enough to train, you're already doing better than like 95% of other human beings out there. And so taking it with like that gratitude and saying like, I'm happy to just be here and even get the chance to do this.
True.
And instead of looking at it from the aspect of like, oh, I have to do this, like I don't really feel like doing it, or all that negativity that comes along with thinking about it from a from the other perspective. And it's awesome to be able to have people like you to look up to in the community, because quite honestly, it's you're a dying breed, man. Like
Thank you.
like the younger generation is coming, and they're lacking a lot of that backbone that the older generation has brought, to maybe, let's say, people in my age range, from like, early 30s till like, late 20s or mid 20s. And like, so just seeing people like you and being able to look up to you guys, it's an amazing thing. And, just know that, like, there's a lot of people that are looking to you for inspiration, and that you motivate a lot of us young guys. So thank you, Pete, for everything you do.
Well, and I appreciate that, because, the interesting thing is, I think we look to the past generations as well, but I'm also blessed because when I come into work at the Human Elite and I look at all the younger guys, and they're trying hard and they're working their butts off, and they're posing and in the mirror with their shirt off at our posing area that we built specifically for that. You have the opportunity to hand knowledge that you've acquired over years of making mistakes and learning from them to them, and hopefully giving them a head start too. And I'm really lucky because I see that in the young bodybuilding community. There's a lot of guys that want to grow, and there's a lot of guys that are passionate about the sport as well. So when you have the opportunity to share it and maybe guide them along ways to help them avoid mistakes that you've made along the way, you can enhance their journey. And that's really important. I think that keeps me inspired too, because I can't preach if I'm not practicing.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. First of all, that posing stage that you guys have it's awesome. Like,
Yeah, it came
it's
out pretty good.
badass.
That was
Yeah,
Devin's idea. I got to give him credit for that.
yeah.
But you know, we got the lighting set up right, and we have the mirrors such that you can look at your
Yeah.
back and assess all the angles for your posing, and it's fun. And people are using it, so you
Yeah.
know, it's not like it's
That
just
is-
sitting there for
That
stretching.
is such a genius idea, and you guys are the only gym that I know that has a freaking posing stage
Yeah,
inside the gym.
it's fun. It's cool.
It's amazing, and it's so good for training because it literally has like the felt that you feel on like the stage, you know.
Yep.
So you really you get that feeling too, like you're on
Yeah,
a
we
stage.
got the lines on the carpet, so you know exactly where to go. You got the box in the center, like it is on the stage.
Which just from like a visualization aspect
Yeah.
alone, that puts you ahead of, like, you know, it puts you in the right place, I think.
Yeah, it's fun.
know.
It's fun to teach people who haven't been on the stage before what it's going to be like as they prepare for their contests.
All right, so for everybody listening on the podcast right now, we are going live on Instagram for a little Q&A. So this is a little segment that I think we're going to try to incorporate on our podcast sessions, where every time we do a podcast with one of our guests, we'll try to hop on a live Q&A, so everybody can get a chance to ask questions for our guests. And follow us on social media if you don't. Gymbro_fitness on Instagram, YouTube, X, and then LinkedIn as well. Also, feel free to join us on Mayhem Strength Instagram and social media. It should be Mayhem_strength. You can find us on YouTube, Twitter, X, LinkedIn, TikTok, Threads, all the platforms.
All right, there we are. Hey guys, all right. I'm here with James from Gym Bros.
What's up, you guys?
Thanks for jumping in. We're finishing up our podcast, Gym Bro Fitness Podcast.
Gymbro Fitness Podcast.
Yeah, which is, I'm excited to be on the podcast anytime we talk about bodybuilding. Thanks for joining us. I haven't gone live before that much on Instagram, so I'm kind of excited to be able to chat with you guys. So we're talking about basically anything that has to do with bodybuilding, fitness. James from Gym Bros is actually the equipment manufacturer that brought Mayhem Strength to my gym, the Human Elite, me and my partner, Devin. So we've been talking about gym equipment, how to choose equipment, what goes into building a gym, and bodybuilding. We talked a little bit about the vibe of different gyms. We also talked about really the difference in motivation and the attitude of the different generations of athletes that are out there currently.
Kind of just talking about really life and business and fitness all together in one place. The origin of the Gym Bro Fitness name just comes from, being a gym bro and talking to your gym bro about like life, what you're going through, what your training schedule looks like, anything you would talk to your gym bro about is kind of what we talk about on the podcast, and doing the Q&A, it's part, it just kind of gives everybody a chance to talk and connect with us, with whatever questions they may have. So what time is it right now? What do we have on the time check? About. Okay.
So this is kind of like a Q&A section for the podcast. This was James' idea, I'll tell you, but it'll work out good. If you guys have any questions at all about anything that has to do with bodybuilding or building a gym or gym equipment, hit us up for sure. See if there's anything out there that you guys might have on your mind.
Hey guys, let us know, how does the audio sound? Is the audio coming out okay? We have two phones kind of running at the same time, so I just want to make sure the audio is doing okay. If anybody's watching, can be like a thumbs up if we sound okay, or thumbs down if it sounds kind of weird. Okay, there's a heart. Not too sure. Okay, so Gym Bro followers, and for anybody following Pete.
Hey there, Maddie.
Matty
Ice, good to see you, man. We're working on it.
Drop your questions below, what you guys have. It can be gym equipment related. It could be questions you have for Pete in regards to bodybuilding, supplements, whatever it may be, guys. Drop your questions below. We're gonna take 5 to 10 minutes here and answer some questions for you guys.
Hey, little G, how you doing? Oh, she gave us a thumbs up.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah,
I see
so
Max dropping
I think we're
the
good.
flexing arm there.
Yep. All right. Good. Sounds good. Little G, you training yet? We'll see you at the gym in a little while. She'll be at the Human Elite later with him.
Hey guys, so if you're just hopping onto the live stream, we're doing a Q&A session here at 1:45 Pacific Standard Time. We're going to be taking any questions in regards to fitness, bodybuilding, supplements, training, whatever it might be, and we're going to be taking the best questions here and answering them for the next 5 to 10 minutes. If you guys don't follow already, Pete, make sure you drop him a follow if you're coming from Gym Bros. And if Pete's following, feel free to check us out on Instagram. We're also on all the major social media platforms, LinkedIn, X, YouTube, TikTok, you name it, we're on there. We're always posting content about, training, our gym equipment, our gym build outs, gym design, gym planning. Always just looking to give value back to the community in any way possible. So
I'll give a shout out to Certified Gangster, heavy hitter.
Let's go.
Hey, thanks, bro, for the positive comment. Welcome. This is really my first full live too, so forgive the jittery shakiness or the lack of smooth coordination. Yeah, I know James has been doing this for a lot longer than me.
No, man, it's all good. It's just a camera. Like, there's really, in reality, it's just pixels on a screen. So,
Ortega Power says, "What's up, James?
What's up, Ortega Power
from Texas?
Let's go, Ricky. What's going on? Ricky actually used to work for us he was part of Jim Bros crew. He's a retired Army vet.
Oh, nice. Thanks for your service, Ricky. Yeah. Max, what's up, man?
What's up, Max?
There he is. Yeah, used to work for you.
Yeah. So
it's kick ass to see how far the company has come.
Thanks, Ricky. One thing that's really cool that we always try to do at Gym Bros is we always try to hire veterans, give back to the community. We've always been focused on hiring vets and training them up to gain technical skills or find a place in life afterwards. And so if you're a veteran and you're interested in working for Gym Bros or Mayhem Strength, shoot us your resume, go to our website, contact us, reach out to us, let us know what you're interested in, and we'll see if we can get you on the team.
Ron, thank you all for your service. With just being Veteran Days that just passed, 609 Muscle is a veteran-owned and operated company as well, and the Human Elite also is part veteran-owned. So we're definitely a part of the family, and we welcome all you guys and ladies too. Thanks for being a part of it.
Let's see. Do we have any questions? Anybody's got any questions?
Working here. Let's see. No questions yet.
Guys, drop your questions below for the Q&A on get on the podcast. Let's see. What do we got?
Emily Lynn.
What's going on, Emily?
All right.
Let's go. Let's see. What do we got?
Well,
everybody, we're doing a Q&A for the next 5 to 10 minutes while simultaneously filming a podcast. Have a chance to get on the podcast, ask us a question on IG Live. We'll definitely be announcing it ahead of time next time, but it's okay. I'm sure we'll get somebody to hop on here and give us a question. Give it another 5 minutes, guys. Drop your questions below. What you have, Q&A for Pete and myself. Anything you guys want to know?
Oh, here's one from Fit for Life. It says, "What is the best solution when hitting a plateau?" You mean in terms of bodybuilding growth or cutting? Probably, I'm going to assume you mean growth. It might be strength as well. But I think anyway, as far as when it comes to hitting a plateau, it's generally because the program that you're currently using, think about bodybuilding in general, results come from adaptation. You adapt to the stimulus or the challenge that you put on your body when you hit a plateau because you've already maxed out the stimulation or the stimulus to adapt. So you have to change the stimulus. You have to upregulate. So if you're looking at increasing reps, increasing intensity, or different types of intensifying techniques when it specifically comes to your training, if your goal is strength or your goal is increased size, so what you want to do is either consider different intensifying techniques. We actually have a ton of them on 609 Muscle TV that talk about how to intensify your training, tempo training or slow concentric repetitions are one of my favorites. I learned actually from Coach Emil Sarchev a while ago as a way to really intensify training. Of course, progressive resistance, making sure that you're training to failure and then a little bit beyond failure. Taking a good look at your nutrition and a good look at your supplementation program to see how you can upregulate performance. Because when it comes to bodybuilding and creating adaptive stimulus to growth, there's a variety of things that increase performance. But more than that, you want to focus on pushing your body to its limit and then a little bit beyond, and that's going to stimulate the adaptive process. Fit for Life, Beep. Thanks for the question. I hope that helped out a little bit. If you have any more questions, feel free to DM me here or hit up James, Gym Bro Fitness.
Awesome. Great question. Thank you.
Good question, actually, yeah.
Great response, too.
And you know, it's funny because you think about it, a lot of the newer clients that I train or the new guys that come in and are been training for years and they're not changing, then you look at what they're doing or what their program is, and you know, they might be eating well, they might be eating pretty good, but not hitting the point where they're actually stimulating adaptation because they're not taking their body to a slightly uncomfortable place. If you're eating well and you're satisfying your energy needs, there's no need to change, no need to adapt. If you're looking to grow and you need extra energy for growth, then you look at taking in extra energy. If you're looking to cut, then you look at functioning in a slight energy deprivation or energy deficit, so your body will use the stored energy within it. You always want to be at a point where you're challenging your body to evolve or to adapt to the next level. You think it goes without saying, but not always, though. You know, for the new people, it's like, well, I do 10 reps, with 10 pounds, 15 reps, 3 sets, 3 times a week. Nothing changes.
Yeah.
But your program always has to change if you hit a plateau. That's a good question.
All right, guys, 2 more minutes. Q&A. Drop your questions below. Let us know what you guys want to know. Be on the podcast, guys. We're recording a podcast, so any questions that we get, you can listen back to on the podcast. We're going to be on all major streaming platforms, posted here probably at the beginning of next year. This is the intro to the Gym Bro Fitness podcast.
Clay Johnson has a good question. He says, how many working sets in one workout do you recommend? That's a great question. It really depends, again, on your experience level, but also on your goals. But again, the bottom line goal is to stimulate the muscles that you're training or the body in general to adapt to what you're challenging it with, which is the exercise. So if you're looking at working sets, take the target muscles' ultimate functional limits, momentary muscular failure. And when you hit momentary muscular failure 2 or 3 times per exercise, every time you're training, with enough recovery time, your body's going to respond and grow. Any more than that, when you start to feel a detachment feeling, or some people say when the pump goes away, then that's the time where you're losing connection. The muscles already beat to the point where it's not being effectively stimulated anymore. So Lee Haney always used to say, stimulate, don't annihilate. It's not about how much volume can you get in until you drop dead or until the body cannot function anymore, but you're pushing the muscle, that's your target muscle, to the limit that it can handle. And generally speaking, 2 or 3 all-out sets for the first exercise, and then 1 to 2 all-out working sets for each subsequent exercise to slightly vary the angle on the target muscle will tend to be enough stimulation to make the muscle change, adapt, and grow, but not enough that you can't recover from it before the next workout. Clay, that was a good question. I hope that helps.
All right. Awesome, guys. Thank you, Clay. I appreciate the question. I like that.
Kevin, let's go, man. Thank you.
Stimulate, don't annihilate. I really like that.
Yeah, Lee Haney, back in the day.
I love that.
Yeah.
I do think there's like a time and place for both, though. Like, you know, sometimes I'll say for me, like it is just about high volume and annihilation. And maybe that's just the young, dumb guy that I am, but that's just what I like. But I don't always do that. I actually rarely do that anymore. You know, more of the time now, it's like what you're talking about is controlling the stimulation, activating all the muscle fibers, recruiting as many fibers as you can into every movement, getting muscle-mind connection. And then, you know, like you said, once you're no longer in the muscles, you're no longer present in the workout, you're thinking about other things and you're not, you know, you're not present and doing 100% of your best ability, then yeah, maybe it's time to.
Well, and that's the thing. I don't think you're wrong, but I think when you have to be aware when the muscle is no longer able to function for a short period of time. And that's a point where you've stimulated it to the point of momentary muscular failure, then beyond failure, about maybe 20% volume-wise beyond failure, if you want to, put a number to it. And then go home, eat, let it rest, and let it grow. Because remember, you don't grow in the gym. You stimulate growth. You grow when you're sleeping, eating, and resting.
Love that. All right, guys. Any other questions on the Q&A before we move on? Any other last questions, guys?
Max says, thoughts on a single set to failure versus multiple sets to failure? That's a good question. That's a good question, Max. But again, it really goes back to the target muscle and its ability to function post single set to failure. I think most people, when it comes to really being able to focus enough to hit that point of momentary muscular failure and push beyond it, 1 to 2 sets per exercise, when you actually get fatigue built up enough to maximally stimulate the entire muscle, all the different muscle fibers, is optimal for stimulating growth. But that's a good question. And you're right, it is something that's debated quite a bit these days.
All right, guys. Well, awesome. Thank you for being a part of the Q&A. I think we're going to move on to the next segment here. Make sure you guys follow and subscribe both of our pages to find out when we're going to go live next and to whenever we release this podcast so you can listen to it. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And we'll talk to you soon. And we hope that you guys enjoy these sessions that we're doing here and that you follow and tune into the podcast.
Thank you, guys. See you next time.
All right. Thank you, guys. And we'll see you soon. Okay, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this podcast episode. We really hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any feedback, please give us the feedback if there's something that you want to hear us talk about. If you want to get in on those Q&As that we just did, tune in, follow us on social media. We're Jimbro_fitness on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn. If you want to follow Mayhem Strength, our gym equipment company, that's Mayhem_strength, again, on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and LinkedIn. Shout out to Pete and the Human Elite for hopping in on the podcast. I hope that we can do this again very soon.
Absolutely.
And I'll give you a chance to kind of plug your followers, where to find you and how they can interact with you and your companies.
Well, thank you, guys. We're available brick and mortar, 609 Muscle down in TG and PB here in San Diego, or 609 Muscle East, right next to the Human Elite in El Cajon, which is East County, San Diego. My Instagram is Pete609 Muscle, straight through. Follow us also on YouTube as we're starting to pick up momentum, 609 Muscle TV on YouTube. We're really excited to be blowing that out. And 609muscle.com, you can hit us up there. We're working on it. It's under construction still, but you can still access me through 609muscle.com as well with my ebook that we just launched. So that's currently out there and available. Thanks for listening, you guys, and we'll talk to you all again soon. Thanks so much. Thank you, James.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys, and we'll catch you soon. And we'll be putting out some really cool content. I think even past the podcast, there's going to be some more content that you and I are going to film and post. So
yes,
we're really excited for the next year to come. Hope you guys stay tuned, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.